Hiya. I think we're live. Hello. It's Kerry from Mobilates. It just caught me for a second, then I didn't see it change over. We're here for 30 minutes of gentle movement, and definitely we need movement today because it is super chilly. So I want to keep you moving, but in a really gentle, safe way. And you can do it standing, you can do it sitting, you can be on the edge of your bed sitting. And we're going to do some lying down as well, always my favourite bit. So you can do lying down on your bed, you can do lying down on a mat on the floor or blanket on the floor, whatever feels comfortable. And you can always take your time on these things. That is the beauty of doing things online and in your own home. So let's get started. You can say hello to me. I'm going to keep my eye on the chat here, and you know I always check it afterwards as well. So let's come to standing with our feet a little bit wider, just so you feel safe and secure. Have a little wibble from side to side, get yourself sorted. It might be that you're sitting on a chair and you go a little side to side like this. And then we're going to just cross our hands on our chest and stroke down our arms. So how far you go, if you want to go right to the ends of your fingers, you can do. I'm just going to keep it sort of about down to my elbow. But I invite you want to go a little inside yourself with this. So you don't have to close your eyes. You can just stare into space. It's nice if you're staring at something not very interesting, just a blank wall is good. Or just blankly out of the window, everyone can wonder what you're doing. If you feel safe enough to close your eyes, who's that? Hello, Irene, nice to have you here. You can close your eyes. And let your breath calm with this stroking. It might fit your movements, so you might really slow down. And you're probably going at a different rhythm to me because we're all different. And as you breathe in, let your belly swell. Bit of extra calming. Hiya, Jackie. Nice to have you here. And your belly swelling is the room that you're creating for your diaphragm to move down with your breath in. So that swell comes from the pressure of the diaphragm moving down, a bit more room in your lungs. So you get a little bit more air. And we'll do a few more, maybe 2. And then just let your arms come down by your sides. They might have a little swing. And we're going to bring our feet a little closer now. So they're coming into parallel. And I always imagine paperback book between your feet is a really good sort of visual to imagine, because you generally, that's the sort of size that you've got in your brain. If you're sitting 2 fists between your knees, that sort of gap is good. And then we'll grow a little bit taller. You can place your hands somewhere comfortable for some pelvic tilts. So I'm going to turn to the side. It gives you the best view of pelvic tilts. I like a hand on the back and a hand on the belly because you can feel the shape change, which is what we want it to do. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, feel your belly pulling back a little. It deflates. And then you can see the length here gets longer and flatter. Looks like my bum is tucking under a little bit, which it is a little bit. The tailbone goes under a little bit. And then we rock forwards. Now, how far you go depends on what's going on with your lower back and what your range of movement and what's comfortable for you. For some people, they might, that's a bit much for me. That feels a bit tight and a bit pinchy. So about here is my sweet spot. So that's a bit more than my everyday, which is probably like that. Small changes can make a big difference. And just keep rocking between your 2 points. And this is why I like the belly on the front and the belly is good on the front, hand on the front and the hand on the back, because I can feel the change as my belly tips forwards. It is rounder. As it comes back, it's flatter. I know a lot of teachers used to use this sort of bucket of water analogy. It did used to leave me a little confused, but your bucket of water is tipping forwards when you've got more of an arch and it's going back over behind you. That was the bit I found really confusing when your back is flatter and you're more tucked under. So yeah, whatever works is just a small movement. And now we're going to make it even smaller. And you're just trying to find your sweet spot in between. And we're just going to hold it roughly about there whilst we get some other parts moving. So let's take our heads on a little nod. So first, just take your head slightly like it's just about to lean back against a wall. And then we're going to take the tip of our nose up and down, just like you're drawing a line, as if there was a felt tip end right on the end of your nose. You're just drawing that line up and down. Now, how far you go with this just depends on what's going on with your neck. And when I say to my classes, you know, do your neck rolls, do what's comfortable for you. Oh my goodness, that's possibly the biggest variety I see in any exercise. So we are all so different. So just finding where is okay for you. And then bring it to the center. And we'll go for a neck roll. This is my favorite. Now you can see I don't go in a full circle because it is just not very comfortable for me. I've got quite a sensitive neck. I get a lot of headaches and migraines. And this always feels nice. When I go in the full circle, I tend to overdo it, get a bit overexcited. But if it works for you, go for it. There are no hard and fast rules for this one. It's really about finding your comfort spot. I find I can go further over time if I take it slowly. And let's come back to the center and roll up and give our shoulders a little roll backwards. Letting your arms hang down. I like my hands quite close to my sides because I just like to feel that movement with my fingers on my thighs. And this is a mindful class, so we're sort of tuning in to how things feel in that moment that you're doing them. Use your breath. That can help to slow things down if you're rushing. Breathing in as your shoulders come forwards and up, and breathing out as they come round the back and down. And then we'll do a couple forwards so we don't forget about those. Right, let's go for some foot movement. Starting to take one heel up and down. I'm going to move back slightly so you can see my pink socks just a little more. That's it. And we're trying to do this without disco hips, and disco hips is like that. So we're just trying to keep that really quite nice and calm. If you're sitting, you have the advantage that the chair tends to keep all this quiet. And then we're going to start taking the arms forwards and then palms back, thumbs forwards, palms back, and you're pressing back as far as you comfortably can. I'm lifting forwards, not my full maximum. I'm more interested in the pushing back, just getting that rhythm going. Maybe speeding it up a tiny bit just to keep warm. You might do a little swap in the air. Oh, it's almost jogging pace. And then both feet down, arms down. Now we're going to go heel raise up. Both arms float to a V shape, slightly in front of you so you can see both your hands. And then you come down. If it's super wobbly, have some support and do it with one arm. And I like to lift my eye line up a little bit. I don't go right back like that, so I'm not admiring the ceiling, but I am admiring higher up above the picture rail, recently painted. Oh, what lovely painting. That's it. If you're sitting, it's going to look like this. And that out breath as your heels and your arms come up really helps. Last one. And then we're just going to go into a little squat. So sending the bum back and the arms forwards. If you're sitting, obviously your bum is already back, it's on the chair. Just send your whole chest forwards and rest your hands here. You can do it with the arms forwards as well. It's heavier. So if that feels okay on your back, go for it. And the highest you can take your arms would be up there, almost by your ears. And there can be as much space as you need. But if that's too much, bring it back to your chest. Otherwise, we're just going like this. And we can press the arms back if you want to, or just let them swing a little bit. And when you send that bum back, it might look like this. So the knee's not really bending very much if that's really difficult for you. I was thinking of this, you see my chest of drawers, think of your bum just nudging a drawer closed, especially in the kitchen where they're nice and slidey. Or it might go a little lower. You can see a bit more of a bend at the knees. Or it might be that you're happy to go really quite low. We're keeping the back straight. And one more. And then let's give our arms and our shoulders and wrists a little bit of love. So just getting some sort of movement in the wrists so you can see the circling there. That's it, both directions. And if you can't get a full circle, any movement up and down, side to side, diagonals, anything you can get. We're just trying to keep as much movement as we can and keeping it going. And then let your fingers go and let's open out. Elbows are in-ish at the sides, but you can see they're just about to move and we're going into this infinity shape. And then we can make this bigger. And if I stand to the side, you can see how much bigger it starts to look. So it gets much more into the shoulders. And then you can keep it like that, or we can use the rest of our body. So on this one, I don't tend to bend my knees very much when I start with this. You can see my bum and my hips just going backwards and forwards. And if you're in the chair, so I don't crash into anything. You're just taking your body, this sort of hinge from your hips backwards and forwards. But if you now want to make this bigger, you might go further forwards. And if you haven't got osteoporosis or osteopenia, you might want to bend your back forwards. And then everybody can lean back a little bit. I'm just going to stay there so you can see what I mean. And the standing version, that's your lean back. So it's like you're showing your chest up to the ceiling. Or imagine you've got a beautiful necklace on, you want it to sparkle in the sunlight. So this would be with the bent over back, just taking it forward. So it's going to vary. If you get dizzy easily, that might not be your favourite. You might have more of this sort of movement. And then we'll calm that down, bring it in. I'm just going to move the chair back there, and let's go into a little side bend. So just finding a moment of stillness. Hands are at your sides, might be reaching at the sides of your chair if you're sitting, and then slide down, slide up. Other side, slide down, come up. And what I'm really interested in is that you can come up tall. That's the real focus. We get a little side bend and then you can come up tall. And then you can take it a little further if that's comfortable. But this foot, I don't want it to start coming off the floor. I want you to stay as heavy in this foot as you do on the other foot. And vice versa the other side. And then what we're going to start to do, if you're standing only, you can't do this one in the chair. I'll explain why. Because we're going to send the hips out to the side. And you can imagine, unless you have a nice little slidey carousel-y thing on the chair, I don't think anyone does, you're not going to get that movement. But what you can do on the chair is you can start bringing your arm overhead instead. And then you'll get that little bit of extra push and keep your bottom heavy so it doesn't feel like one side's trying to lift up. That's it. One more each side. And then we're going to go for, I think, my all-time favourite move. A little bit of swooshing, gentle rotation. You see my legs are a bit further apart. My knees are definitely making all the noises. They always do in this move. And I'm just starting to turn and look behind me. But the whole body is moving as you do this. So if you're sitting, your feet can move, your heels can come off the floor. Some people like to make this much bigger. and sort of let the arms fall onto the body, but the whole body is making this bigger. It's not just a turn from the waist. It's quite nice for warming up, and again, this is a calming sort of move. If you're feeling extra frustrated, irritable about something, this is a really good way to calm your body and your nervous system. Just calm it right down. It's quite good on keeping you warm as well. Let's bring it in. A couple more moves to do before we get down to the floor. So bring your feet in again, that paperback book distance. And then we're going to rest our hands on our hips because you want a bit of feedback from this bit. I want you to bring one heel just off the floor, the knee will bend slightly, and then see my hand here? Oh, it's just moved up. Little hip shift up and down, up and down. Now I'm not changing my foot, it's slightly lifted off the floor to give me this movement, but I'm just letting the hip go up towards my armpit and then down the other way. And then let's go for the other side. Now, if you're doing this on the chair, you've got the resistance of the chair, but it is still possible. So if I show you on this side, I've definitely got the heel up, and you can see it comes up. It's harder to get it to go down the other way because the chair is resisting you, but you can get that upward movement. And if you want to, you could go between the two, just let your heel come up each time, just a little bit, just to give you a bit more range of movement. Right, that's where am I going? There I am. It's quite a hard one to get going sometimes. And then we'll let everything have a little jiggle and a shake, ribbony arms. And we'll just do a balance before we get down to the floor. So I want you to take a leg out to the side and just turn your foot, the inside of your foot, towards me. So you're trying to show me the inside of your leg. And then take that heel closer to the other foot that's pointing forwards, closer to the heel of the other foot. Oh, and still it starts to feel a bit wobbly. So you're starting to challenge yourself. And then can you bring it closer? Even closer. You can see we're now on the toes of the other foot. Closer, closer. Now this, you might be here, 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 any of those places. And then just holding it. Whoa, and growing tall, the arms go wherever helps you. Fantastic. And you can wobble, it's fine. Now you do get lots of sensation through the standing leg or the leg that is taking the weight when you're sitting. And I'm going to show the sitting version in a moment. Let's take it down. You definitely need a little wriggle in between, maybe a little walk. So same on the other side. If you're sitting, come forwards on your chair, turn this leg out a little and start to, I'm going to lengthen this leg, make it a bit more comfortable, bringing it closer. I'm going to bring this leg closer as well, just so it's just getting a little bit harder. And then this foot starts to come up the leg. It might even rest on the leg here. It might even rest on the leg here. Depends what is comfortable for you and your hips there. But that feels like quite a hard balance there. Now it's not as wibbly because you've got the chair, but you're still a lot less stable than you are with 2 feet. We're going to hold it for a few more seconds. Hope you're breathing. And then take it down and let everything just recover. Maybe a little rub, a little walk on the spot, let the legs flop. And then we're going to take ourselves down to the floor, however you want to, whatever is the best way for you. And I'm going to show you a different way. If you find, some people like to get down using a chair, some people will kneel first. But if you really don't like using your knees, a good way to practice is to take your bum back, coming down lower towards the floor, and then just start to put your hands down. Now, it may be you can use a chair first, but we're trying to avoid using our knees all together. And then the hands come further down and down and down. And then at this point, a little turn to the side, and then you haven't had to go on your knees. So it's just, there's lots of different ways of coming down to the floor safely, but I just thought I'd show that one. Right, I'm just going to move the chair to the side a little bit and take myself fully down. Now, don't put a cushion behind your head, because we are going to do some bridges in a moment and you'll have to take it out virtually straight away. So let's get ourselves comfortable without a cushion, but we'll bring the cushion back shortly. You can see mine is waiting there for me. Right. Let's lie on our backs with our legs bent. And give yourself a bit of time just to settle. I always like a bit of a knee sway, just so my lower back feels, so I just feel right, just gets used to being on the floor. I'm just checking that my neck's nice and long, so I'm not like that. I'm definitely looking towards the ceiling. And then place your hands on your belly, even if you've got pockets, in your pockets, and feel your belly would be lovely. But I'll put my hands on my belly so you can see what's happening. Now I want you to imagine there's some bubble wrap under here, under this low back part of you. So this could be on your mat, or you might be on your bed on the mattress. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, feel your belly just go down a little bit. And then we're going to bring our pubic bone towards our nose. And I'm feeling like I'm squashing all those bubbles in the bubble wrap beneath here. And I can feel that pressure going down to the floor from my lower back. And then I'm just going to let my pubic bone roll forwards a little. And that pressure is much less. There's a little tiny space there. Room for some bubbles. Breath in. Slow breath out and a slow tilt back. Breathing in, slightly forwards, breathing out, tilt back. And then we're going to rock forwards, put our arms down by our sides. A little wriggle of the shoulders, just getting everything ready. Right, now I'm bringing my feet a little closer. Breath in. Breath out, that same pelvic tilt, squash the bubble wrap, but this time push more through your feet. I'm just lifting, look, my hands going under my pelvis and my bottom up to as high as I want to go. And then I'm going to roll it down just the way I've come, imagining that I've got some bubbles underneath. I'm just going to flatten each one by one, until I'm settled again. Same again, breath in. Up we go. And roll down. We're going to go up again and hold it this time. And just hover the arms just off the floor, nice and long, and then take them a little higher, a little higher, a little higher, until you've got your fingers reaching towards the ceiling. Just hold it there. And then maybe they can go a little bit further back, but I don't want them to go too far. Just hold them there. And then starting to take them down. Maybe a little faster if you find everything's getting super tired. And then rolling down nice and slow. Sometimes going slow is extra work, but it feels very nice and controlled. There's times for going slow and for going fast, but we're going to go slow on this one. Breath in, breath out, starting that roll up, lifting up as high as you want to, press through your feet, squeeze here as well under your bum if you want to. And just trying to get yourself nice and still. Let's take one arm up this time. And it's going back up, bit behind, and the other one. And then take the first one down, and the other one down. And then roll yourself down. Perfect. One more time. Breath in. Breath out, roll up. And we're going to take both arms straight up and then start to circle outwards and let your shoulders spread. Let your arms just graze the ground. You might want to do another one, but you can come down if you want to. That's it. And then roll down and just rest there. I can see someone's just commented, so I just want to check. Oh, that's Val coming in. Hi, Val. If you've just joined in, just take a few moments just to settle yourself. Right. Well done on those bridges. I'm putting in lots of different variations for the arms just to keep everyone on their toes, but gently on their toes. Right, now arms are out in a T shape. And we're going to take one hand and reach it right across the body and let your legs roll over. And you're just trying to slide down onto your other hand, even ahead of your other hand if you can. And then slide slowly back. Let your body just go with you. If it's easier for your legs to be a little bit wider, they can be. And then we're going to start that on the other side. This is one of my favourites. I'm conscious we've not put the cushion or pillow back under our head, so if you want to, you could have that. Although with rolling, I tend to find I have to start rolling off the cushion. We'll grab it in a moment. And this is our last one. Back to the centre, and this time we're going to roll onto our sides. And this is why I'm going to grab the cushion. So we're going to roll onto our sides with our head supported. Might be just by your arm or a cushion or even a selection of arm and cushion. That's what I like. And you can see the legs are in a triangle shape. The feet are just about in line with your bottom. And your head and your bottom are in line. You can help support yourself from rocking over or back with your hand. This top leg, we're just going to lift it very slightly so there's a little gap between our knees and feet, and then straighten that leg and flatten your foot like you're trying to push your footprint away, and then bring it back and just rest it down. Pushing it down again. That's it. Like you're trying to make that leg longer, and then bring it back. Now you can hover it with a little gap or rest it in between. Push down, breathe out. Breathe in as it comes back. Push down, breathe out. Breathe in as it comes back. Push down, breathe out. And we're going to hold it there. Let the foot go a bit longer, so it's a bit more relaxed, but that leg's long. And a little circle. You can see it is super small. This other leg's definitely pressing into the ground. Let's take it the other way. And this is when you start to think, I wish it would stop. We'll bring that leg back. And then bring your legs closer towards you and just soothe everything. Give it a stroke, a rub. And then we've got to do the other side. So it might be that you're just going to open your arms out and roll slowly away from me. Or it might be you're going to push yourself up and switch over to the other side. And that's where I'm going to take it. So getting yourself comfortable again. Might be different on this side. You can have different things going on the shoulder or the hip. And if you've got a lot of hip discomfort, particularly at the sides, it can be more comfortable to put a pillow down. So you've got something nice and long so that padding can spread out over your hip and sort of along into your thigh a little bit. So we've got our triangle legs. Hand can be on your hip, up here, just arm resting, whatever feels good. I'm going to put it on my hip, could even be on the air actually, we'll try that. So let's have the arm wherever you feel good. And we're going to just take this foot down, like we're footprinting away, like pushing your heel away. That leg goes long, and then it's going to come back to the other leg. And it can rest on top, or it can have a little gap. That's a bit harder keeping it up. And push away with an out breath. Coming back with an in breath. Push away. And keep it going. Keep that bottom leg that's on the floor pressed against the floor. So you can feel the sides of your leg, sides of your foot pressed against it as you're pushing this leg away. I think we're coming up towards that last one that we're going to hold. I'm going to rest my arm down, I think. Let this foot relax a little bit. And then starting to draw a small circle about the size of a saucer or the top of a cup. Now, it might be a bit more achy on this side because we've already pressed this leg into the floor. So it might be complaining a little bit. Let's just take it the other way whilst we can, but come down if it's getting a bit much. The rest of your body is as still as it can be. And then bend it and bring your knees into your chest. And then we're going to do a little in-between move before we get up into seated. So taking your arms out in a T shape, your legs are medium width, neither wide nor narrow, and just let them start to sway. Your shoulders stay on the floor, but the knees just start to sway. Just letting them fall where they want to. And come up again. There isn't much time spent on either side. They're just falling and coming back up. And then start to let your head roll in the opposite direction. This is a good time to have the cushion, I think. One more each way. And then take your legs back to the center, bring them together, roll over to your side and use your hands to push yourself up. We're going to come to sitting. So whatever comfortable position is for you sitting. If you're on the bed, you might be on the edge of your bed with your feet on the floor. If there's a cushion there, I think I might as well sit on it. And then whatever is comfortable for your legs, crossed out, long, bent the other long, whatever's good. And then we're going to round our arms. So it's literally like we're making a circle and the fingers are just touching, or they can be slightly apart, but there's a soft circle shape here. Grow tall. Pull your belly and your waist backwards. And then come up. As you go backwards, you can feel a slight nod of the head, but it's quite a small movement. I'm not going super low and slumping down. I'm trying to keep a little bit of height. Let's pull up again. Pull back. Pull up. Last one, pull back. Pull up. Take your arms out to the side. Scoop up the air. Look up to your hands at that highest point. And bring them into your chest. Give yourselves a clap. Stroke down those arms again just to sort of seal the end of it and to tell your body how good it's been. And I shall see you again next week. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure as always. I'm going to catch up on your comments. Bye.